What is up, YouTube tool tubers of the world? My name is Brad. Welcome to the Workbench. Today I'm going to take you through the brand new WEN 13-inch planer that comes with the spiral cutter head. We're going to also take a look at some of the differences between this one and my old WEN 2-blade planer that I did a review of 2 years ago, my most popular review, and hopefully my neighbor's Fiesta won't be too much background noise to distract us. Alright, so we'll start at the top, work our way down and around. A big difference here is the solid top with two rollers, of course. Now the solid top, the last one just had a bar that went in between. This is the depth adjustment. Up, down, all around. And I had this up on the stand now, but as you can see, I normally just roll it around on the ground. Now I do got a few different features we didn't have on the first one, and I do like this one. Got this little bitty knob that'll kind of give you an idea of what your depth of cut's going to be, which makes it a lot handier when you're starting out a board and you're not quite sure. You know, if you got it down and you see it go like this, you definitely want to bring that depth up a little bit. We got our motor information right here. You can take a look at that if you want to. And of course the model number, all your pertinent information right up here, easy to see. Now one of the biggest things I love seeing on this, as opposed to my cheaper 2-blade one, is that it actually does have 4 screws that this little motor blade carriage thing rides up and down on. The old 2-blade one and a lot of the cheaper planers actually only have 2 screws, which a big problem I had with mine is my whole carriage here was like to a 64th of an inch tilted to the left or the right, I can't remember exactly, which is an easy fix. You just got to make sure you run your piece in the opposite way, but that can also be a pain in the ass because sometimes when you run it through the opposite way, then you're tearing grain out and you got to go back, and that creates a lot more sanding afterwards. And then we got your standard little gauge over here on the side. One kind of cool thing is that it does come in standard and metric. For the table, we no longer have a granite table in this one, just straight out of the package. You'll see there does have a little bit of movement to it, which I guess I could shim up and make it tighter. It hasn't really bothered me, and it hasn't affected any cuts just yet. If you get real close, you can see that it's just a thin piece of steel plate over top of the cast iron base. A little bit heavier than the old 2-blade. I'd probably say maybe 80 pounds, just guessing off the top of my head. I'll try to look up the weight. Not something I'd want to lift repeatedly throughout the day, though, let's say that. Coming around the side is a pretty cool feature we didn't have on the other one, and that is a depth stop. If you want your piece to be 1 inch in thickness, and you can just crank on down this, and it'll actually stop you when you get to 1 inch, or won't let you go past that. So that's a pretty cool little feature, and as you can see, you can go down to 1/8 of an inch. And the highest depth stop is here at 1 3/4. So, cool little feature didn't have on the other one that I am happy to see on this one. Now, I haven't actually tested how accurate this was yet, so if you're buying this planer, I would double check that. Alright, moving on around to the back, we have their dust collection. This is the little hood, and we'll take this off in a minute to take a look at the planer blades. This will do either 2.5 or 4 inch. I really like this option here, although I think it would be cool if they had a way that you could remove the 2.5 inch, because of course that's going to restrict some of the airflow if you're using the 4 inch like I am. But I haven't had an issue with it yet. When I have my actual 4 inch dust collection on here, it sucks up, I'd probably say, 98% of the shavings. Now if we take this cover off, which is toolless, just these little star knobs, we'll get a look at the actual 26-blade Cutterhead system, and I think that's what most of y'all are here for. One thing I don't like is that this is not able to be reversed. On the last planer I had, you could put the dust collection port on either side, but what is cool is it is a toolless removal, let's say that. So you just undo these 2 star screw thingies, and that gives you instant access to your blade. It is nice that they gave you a place to store your tooling. The Torx here, the T-handle Torx here, is for your actual cutter blades if you want to swap those around. And then an Allen key for various other parts throughout the unit. But as you can see, there's no way that you could flip this to where you could put this on the other side. Now here is one big mistake people are going to think. These are not carbide cutter heads. These are actually high-speed steel cutter heads. And I'll just be completely honest, when I bought this, I assumed they were going to be carbide as well. The good news being, these are 14 millimeters, which is a pretty standard size for carbide cutter heads, so probably go ahead and replace them with a set of actual carbide cutters. That being said, I'm still very happy with this purchase because these will last longer, and they do leave a better finish. And the motor is still loud, but when you're actually cutting, you can definitely notice a big noise difference from the last planer I had. So in my last video of the 12.5 inch WEN planer review, the cheapest planer on Amazon you could buy at that time, the biggest complaint I had was, you didn't let me see it cut, you never showed it working. So I made sure when I did run this, I got some video of it, and I'll show that to you now. Now I'm actually going to fold these up, put this on its side, and show you the one thing I really dislike about this. As you can see here, they kind of cheaped out on these sprockets. There's some kind of nylon material. The chain system I'm not worried about. I don't really see how any other way that they could get around a 4-screw system without using some kind of chain. But the fact that they use nylon sprockets on all of these is a wear concern for me over the long term, and we'll see, because I am going to come back and review this thing after about a year of use. The other thing I love, if you have this planer in the other brands, Rikon, Rigid, there's a couple other brands selling this planer. I'm curious if they used better parts down here, maybe some kind of steel or better wearing material, basically. So if you have one of those, leave a comment down below, let me know. Also about the carbide cutters, I'm curious if the other brands actually put carbide cutters in theirs rather than high-speed steel. Alright, so there you have it, a good overview, first impressions of the cheapest planer you can buy on Amazon that comes with a spiral cutter head. Couple downfalls with the high-speed steel cutters and the nylon type sprockets underneath. But overall, I'm very happy with this upgrade so far. Now, of course, I am going to come back in a year and show y'all how everything is, kind of compare what things have worn out, what things are going strong. Because even though, yes, I do only use this at home, I do a lot of side work here at home. And even though I have a second wood turning channel, honestly, the majority of what I sell is flat work. Charcuterie boards, resin coasters, that sort of stuff. I may even make a video and link whenever I go to change out those high-speed steel cutters to carbide ones. That way people will know which cutters they can buy that will be a good replacement for this planer. Because even though it's not a bird or a Shelix, it's still better than a 2 or 3 blade Cutterhead system in my opinion. But anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoy this look at it. And until next time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down there. We'll holler at you next time. Peace!
Every 4 computers now have primary control of